I am Jacob Gabel.
I am Jacob Wurtz.
And this is the Untapped Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey, everybody. One quick saying about you guys interacting with us. One, thank you for continuing to interact with us. I just wanted to address that right off the bat because Wurtz and I continue, every time we're together, we talk about how cool it is to see the people interacting with us and hear from you guys, whether it's in person, whatever that is. So please keep that up because
Absolutely.
if anything, hopefully we can boost your mood, and then we also get our own mood boosted too. And
Absolutely.
Hopefully you guys appreciate that factor. But
right.
Just wanted to mention that real quick.
Yeah, and it's so cool, guys. We go on to our our stats and our numbers with the podcast listens and the different states. We have almost every state covered in the country.
It's wild, yeah.
And we actually have some other countries that we get listens from. And guys, we look over all that stuff, and like you just said, you have no idea how meaningful that is. And we appreciate that love, that support, and all that interaction. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And literally, I'm getting goosebumps right now because it affirms to us that we're reaching people.
It's still kind of surreal in a way.
Absolutely,
doing this episode is still very surreal, which
exactly.
is I kind of enjoy that because it continues to make the work that enjoyable, and it will continue to make the work
right. And we've been
enjoyable.
We've been recording podcasts since, what did we just say, December?
Yeah, we said December now.
And every time we record, you and I both get this giddy excitement because we love doing this. It's exciting, man. It's fun, and again, like you just said, it boosts our moods, and we feel like we're bringing you guys valuable information. So don't ever let that stop, guys. And if you ever have tips, suggestions, comments, all that kind of stuff, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah.
But let's hop in.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it,
guys. We haven't covered any fitness topics in quite some time.
Yeah.
We do put out a lot of fitness content on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, but we haven't actually done a podcast dedicated to that in a little while. So we felt we kind of wanted to bring up the fitness world with the podcast. Obviously, two personal trainers here, two guys that are in the gym every day, trying out different programs and interacting with different trainers and just people in the industry. So we're always learning.
Yeah,
we're always learning.
Well versed in the topic.
Yeah,
but always learning. That's always
absolutely
the key there. Yeah,
and that's the great thing about the fitness industry.
It just changes all the time.
Yeah, it does,
which is kind of cool actually.
Exactly. So guys, we wanted to bring you through an episode here where we're going to cover about 4 to 5 different just general health ideas and tips. So not necessarily just fitness. We are going to cover fitness ones, but also just general health, physical and mental health there. So we're going to take you through a few points here, spend a few minutes on each, and bring you guys some good, hard-hit, valuable information, no doubt. So leading off which is much easier now as we're heading into the summer months.
Yeah.
Guys, prioritizing daily outdoor activity, especially when it's sunny. Here in St. Louis, the past couple of days, we've hit 90 plus on the thermometer, which has been a big surprise because literally last week, a couple of the days we had pants on. So literally that's St. Louis for you. But, we were just talking about this, and especially you being on 75 hard now, you have to be outside every day. But the big mood differences between cloudy, cold, crappy days and the sunny, warm days. Where it's nice out and whatnot. There's a huge mood difference, and I think you would agree with that,
100%,
right? Yeah,
100%. Yeah, and I mean that's definitely something I always have noted. Last time I did 75, I've noticed it, but I mean even last time I did it was probably less sunny days. I would
absolutely,
say, because of the fact that it was still the cold months and whatnot.
Right.
But this time around, it's pretty apparent which days are which and whatnot. That's why for me, I always try to get my outdoor activity in when it's still light outside of some sort.
For sure.
Now, once it starts getting dark, there has been times I had to do it just because, things going on during the day. I had to get it done at 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever time at night. That is a little bit of it's a funny time at night, but it's still good that I notice, guys. And we talk about the mood difference, right? Although I've noticed that there's only a mood difference really if I do not get outside. So, obviously on 75 hard, I've been outside literally every day, all 31, day 31 now of the days. And what happens with that is that even if I'm outdoors and it's cloudy, there is still a good mood boost I get. Now, the reason that is because naturally humans, it's the outside is good for us. Definitely. We're not just meant to be cooped up, just sitting at a screen all day and doing nothing else all day. Right. And that's kind of what we want to get to the outdoor points and whatnot. And even with the sun, you get the vitamin D from the sun. You get the sunlight from it. That's huge.
You get tan.
Yeah, and you get tan, yeah. And, I mean, of course, like Wurtz said in St. Louis, like, a lot of times, even no matter what during the summer, like, sometimes you're only getting 3 to 4 days a week that are sunny days.
Sure.
And take advantage of those days. If it's sunny outside, make sure you're getting outside, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, whatever.
Right.
You don't even have to necessarily go on a walk. You could literally just, like, if you have a deck, patio, whatever, get outside and just kind of enjoy it, soak it in.
Eat your lunch out there, or read your book, or, sit out there with your dog. Because, like, that's the biggest thing when I try to look at other beings with the mood difference. Look at your dog. Mm-hmm. If it's sunny and warm outside and you're out on your deck, bring your dog, and they're gonna be loving life. Mm-hmm. But same with cats too. You know, Gabel's cat is right here watching us, and
he loves the sun. Anytime that door's open out at my place, it's like he gravitates toward it.
Right.
So that's why Wurtz is saying, watch those animals and how they react to it. If they're reacting that well to it, their species has been around a little bit longer than ours has. So you think about that. And prioritize the sunlight. And
their species are literally meant to be outside.
Yes, exactly.
What house cats and house dogs come from, So, guys, basically, it's a very simple thing. You see it's going to be a sunny day, and be smart. Here in St. Louis, middle of July and August, I mean, my goodness, we see triple digits and it's humid. So be smart, too. Be hydrated. And, even if you're sitting in the shade, like for half that time you're outside, it's still going to be beneficial. So, of course, be smart. We're not saying, hey, if it's 103 degrees, like, go outside for 6 hours.
Yeah, go outside for 6 hours, don't drink water and do sprints. No,
right.
That's the exact opposite of what you should do.
Right.
Yeah.
But prioritize that and take advantage of that because there's a lot of health, just general health, both mental and physical benefits to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So moving right along here, this is definitely a fitness one. And this, I would say, mostly applies to people starting out in fitness. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be this daunting new journey that is just scary and something that you don't want to do. But start with 3 to 4 dedicated days to working out, getting into a gym, or doing a program like P90X, or there's literally numerous of at-home workouts. If
you're doing a marathon program,
do a marathon program. There's so many different kinds. But dedicate 3 to 4 days a week starting out to getting those workouts in. We're going to tell you to go to the gym because that's what we like to do personally. That's what works best for us. However, we both have been guys that have done a lot of at-home workouts too, and those can be just as beneficial.
Yes.
The only thing, at least, and this is maybe just me personally speaking, with at-home workouts, they just get a little mundane. Yeah. You don't have all the equipment options.
The culture.
The space, all that kind of stuff. I like to be able to separate the gym and home if I can.
Yep.
But there's days where I can't, and you know what? I'm still going to get something in. It might just be yoga in my room, Yep. So starting with 3 to 4 days a week, and work up to then 4 to 5. And then if you want that extra day, go to 5 to 6. Yep. Take at least one rest day a week, 100%, and which is the most difficult thing to do.
Difficult, but one of the most important things to do as well.
Exactly. And on those rest days, that's when that getting outside, you can still get some movement in. Yeah.
Yeah, by no means, like 7 days of the week, you have the option to be outside and moving.
Absolutely.
100%. 100% of the time. But
and you should.
We're talking structured different types of workout programs here. Like,
absolutely.
And you notice what Wurtz is talking about too, guys, is that he's giving you options. Again, we think that going to a gym and getting the strength training in or getting the strength training at home is very beneficial because it helps with muscle mass. Muscle mass helps with a lot of different things. But anyways, the point with that is that you have the option of a gym. You have the option of going on a bike ride. You have the option of going on a mountain bike ride through trails. You have the option of going running. You have the option of just going on a certain walking program, like maybe trying to increase by a couple minutes each day in a walking program, that type of stuff.
A rucking program too.
Exactly.
We both love
rucking
ruck.
program. You got your P90Xs. You got your yoga. You got all types of things. So there's a lot of different options, guys, and that's one thing about exercise and fitness is that I think a lot of times people feel their options are constrained to like either running or lifting weights.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not the case.
Right.
That's really not the case. Is it good to lift weights? 100% of the time it is. But it's good to do something fitness-wise you really enjoy because that's going to get you more into other stuff in fitness.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. So, guys, again, start with 3 to 4 days a week. There's so many options out there. Yep. Moving on to our next 2 points can sort of be combined into one in a way, but what we're going to start with, and they're both food-related, but what we're going to start with is prioritizing fresh food over processed food. That's very, very important, especially in our world and really in America here. You know, we have so much processed food. You know, so it can be more difficult and sometimes more expensive to get the fresh food, but the benefits are going to so far outweigh the processed foods.
Yes, 100%.
You know?
Well, the biggest thing, guys, is that what's hard, a lot of times it's always, like Wurtz mentioned there, it's always the price part that gets mentioned when it comes to fresh food. If you put a little bit of slow bit of time and research in and go to go to the right grocery stores, go to the right sections of the grocery stores, the deal should not be that much different.
Right.
You know, like we all know groceries are having their issues right now price-wise overall. So it goes for everything at this point in time. But prioritizing those different types of food, they're also going to be more nutrient dense. So if they're more nutrient dense, you're going to be fuller.
Right.
And because that's the problem with processed foods a lot of times is that they don't really satiate you, and they don't really provide the exact micronutrients you need.
Right.
So that's why we're kind of recommending the fresh food. Again, it could be it could be your red meat, it could be your chicken that you grab, it could be your turkey, whatever, that type of stuff.
Fresh veggies and fruits.
Fresh veggies, fresh fruits.
Yeah,
those are big. Those are two big ones. You know, a lot of the times, like, try to find food you enjoy, because everybody's going to have something fresh that they enjoy.
Exactly.
The human body aches and yearns for that type of food. Like, 100%. Like, you know, we all really love a good steak. That is the truth of the matter. I mean, maybe not all of us, I guess, but I say that.
We do.
Yeah, I would say so.
If you guys got extra steaks that you don't want, we'll take them for you.
Pass them over, please.
DM us on Instagram at Education Fitness.
If you got a cow at home, we'll buy it. Yeah,
right.
The official Education cow. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, I mean, that's a huge factor. I mean, the fresh food again we're not saying go cold turkey. You know, you're eating a lot of McDonald's right now. You know, all of a sudden just cut that out and eat 7 days a week fresh food. Naturally, you're going to freak yourself out and you're going to burn yourself right back into the processed food. So, you know, start with the 3 to 4 days a week, a solid meal, that type of stuff. Start upping that fresh food and getting that as much as possible, doing more research, and you're going to find that it can be not that expensive as you would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned McDonald's, because I was going to come up with an example. Like, not that you and I go to McDonald's, but if and when we do, we have to get a lot of food. And we eat all that food, and I'm not kidding, like, both of us would agree, an hour later, we're hungry again.
So
as bad. If we didn't just eat 2,000 calories.
I think the last time we were at McDonald's was literally like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was like 3 years before that at least. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's that many times. But you and I, we hadn't eaten dinner. It was like 8:30 at night.
And that was when, like, all the fast food restaurants were closing literally at like 8.
We were desperate.
And we were desperate. Yeah. So, guys, you heard it here. All right, we went to McDonald's. Don't cancel us, please.
Don't cut us off as fitness influencers. Please, we went to McDonald's one time in the last 6 months. Please don't send us to the guillotine. I'm begging you.
But the fact is, like, we as big guys gotta get a lot of food.
Yeah.
But then something like McDonald's, where it's so processed,
it just doesn't do anything for us.
And
that's
we're not satiated. You know.
I mean, of course, not to mention all the chemicals in it. Like, but the fact that it doesn't even fill us up after we put 2,000 calories in our body.
Yep.
It's like
you want to talk about empty calories.
Yeah, you want to talk about food that's just shit food.
Yeah, right.
Like, obviously not good for you.
Right.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Exactly. Rolling right into our fourth point is getting enough protein.
Yep.
Because you most likely aren't. The most basic way to figure out how much protein you need is you take your body weight and you go about 1.5 times that. That's usually a really good place to start with grams of protein. You know, so you and I, we'd be around the like 250 to 300, maybe even more grams of protein a day. And guys, it can be tough to track all that. So there's plenty of apps. We've talked about tracking food. If you enjoy doing that, if you don't enjoy doing that, everyone's different there. But that's usually a general good starting point because that protein is going to help you with your goals. And like we just said, your fresh chickens, steaks, beef, lean beef especially.
They're filled with it.
Those
filled with that protein,
exactly are filled with that good solid protein, not the processed protein.
Yes,
it's going to fill you up.
Exactly. And a big thing too with protein is that you'll notice when you first start out, especially, and those of you who are higher activity levels and those of you who are lower activity levels, you're going to have different protein needs as well.
Yes.
So that's a big thing. If you're really starting out, you're getting, your 3 days a week in just like walking, that type of thing, which, again, we all start somewhere and that's good.
Just get moving. Yep.
Get moving. Your protein goals are going to go up from what you've had. So, again, like Wurtz said, what was the number you gave there? What kind of running off your head?
The 1.5 times your body weight? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good number for it a lot of times. Again, you can kind of play around with it. There's also like, Precision Nutrition, NASM. You can go on and get your calorie calculator and see your protein goals.
Yeah.
That type of stuff and make it easier for you that way. But again, that's what we're kind of mentioning, is that for those active people, it's going to be higher. Because naturally your body's going to need that protein to repair the muscles when they're damaged because of the higher activity.
Right.
If it's lower activity, start lower, work your way up, you're going to start increasing, whether it's increasing by, 20 grams or something like that a day, eventually after like 3 months or whatever. But just slowly progress yourself up. Don't just start off by gouging yourself with 250 grams of protein or something like that.
Exactly.
Because that's gonna be plenty of other problems that you're gonna have with that, like aka
constipation,
bathroom problems and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, and this also doesn't mean chug 5 protein shakes a day.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to that point, if you do need some supplementation, we have some really good supplement episodes. I believe it was episode 6.
Episode 6, yeah.
Part 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
2 and 3 are really good. We lay out very specific details about different supplements. But starting out, like, don't just be chugging protein shakes, because at the same time, like, it'll help, but whole food is always going to be the number one choice. Whole food, fresh food, always going to be the number one choice over a protein shake.
Yeah, if you're planning to be a bodybuilder, I guess, like, if you really need to get the calories in that way, that's one way to do it. But because I actually know a couple bodybuilders who that's was their method.
House of Pain's full of them too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's like that's a very, we just listed a very extreme option there. So those, you just, like Wurtz said, like, if you want to have one protein shake a day,
absolutely,
cool. But you don't need to drink 3 to 5 of them and just power them down for that.
Not to mention your wallet is going to be crying a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be
going through a ton of protein every week.
Really, really sorry for you if you're doing that.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, the 3 and 4 there. Fresh food, always over processed if you can, and more than likely you can, and you just don't realize it.
Yes, exactly. That's a key point.
Yes, and the 4th point, getting enough protein, because again, you more than likely aren't. And again, like Gabel said, it's going to be different for everyone, whether you're starting out or whether you're a year, 2, 3 years into this, whatever. So everyone's goals and requirements will be different there. And guys, our 5th and final point here is a little bit more of the mental side. Keeping good, joyful thoughts in our mind, keeping our mental health high, is make sure you're opening up time and prioritizing time for things you enjoy.
Definitely.
And with people you enjoy as well. It's very, very important to do that for your mental health, but you could also even benefit your physical health. If you guys are getting out, something we love to do with our friends is get out to a football field, play football, play frisbee, all that kind of stuff, playing basketball. Like, we love doing that kind of stuff. Both of us are involved in rec sports, hockey, softball, all that kind of stuff. Like, those are things we enjoy. We also get together with our friends and watch the UFC fights.
Yes.
So that's something that's not necessarily a physical benefit, but that's something as a group we'd love to do. It gets all of us together and the fights are on. Like, that's just a fun thing for us to do. Or we've gone to Cardinals games. Things like that.
Cheap tickets to Cardinals games.
Oh yeah,
it's great for us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it can definitely be affordable to go to Cardinals games. But anyway, 100%. Prioritizing that time with the people you love to be around is going to benefit your mental health. There's no doubt about it. And I think what a lot of us do sometimes is we try to be so much on our own that we don't even realize that we're neglecting the time with others. And then it's like, man, why am I always in a crappy mood? I'm always unhappy, or my mind just feels cloudy and all these bad thoughts, or whatever it might be. Well, are you spending time with people you enjoy to be around?
Yep.
Or are you not? That's something you might have to read yourself on.
100%. 100%. I mean, you couldn't have said that better. I mean, that was all of what you just said was so on point too, and it's because I personally have really noticed it recently. Is as much as I prioritize you here, as much as I prioritize being with you guys during 75 Hard, my mood's 10 times better. Like, that's like we had the UFC fights this weekend. Oliveira and Gaethje were fighting, and those are just so much fun to go to. Yeah. It's fun to interact with the guys. We make jokes. We have a good time. We get to be ourselves, and it's just it's a very natural thing. You know what I mean? And that always boosts my mood, having stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Wurtz said, the Cardinals games for me, I was never a big baseball guy, really, to be honest with you. But going to Busch Stadium is such a cool experience, and we make time because Wurtz and I, we're not huge city guys a lot of times. But one of the best things to do is just go to those Cardinals games and really get to enjoy the atmosphere.
We are so fortunate in St. Louis to have the organization there and just the whole culture around it. And you're in that stadium with 40,000 other people, and it's like one big-ass family. I
Yep.
mean, literally. You
Yep.
know, and just like you said, like the whole experience. Yeah, there's frustrations with parking and traffic and
Sure.
long lines.
It's all little things that are worth it a
But
lot
yeah,
of times. So,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a fun experience. And then if you go, you know, again, guys, like you can literally get $5 tickets. You know, we've done it, and just it's worth it. You know, to spend that time with those people and whatnot.
I mean, it could be as easy as going on a hike together too.
Absolutely,
It doesn't have to be something crazy. You could go to your local park or whatever, and just like you and however many of your friends, you guys just go on a walk and just talk, catch up, that type of thing. You could schedule different nights when you guys maybe have like dinner together or something like that. That's a kind of like different specific one, but that's an option. And movie theaters, going to movies together, like all kinds of different stuff. Like there's a place for that type of stress relief. I mean, I took my mother this weekend to Bar K, which is like a dog bar basically downtown St. Louis, and being around hundreds of dogs that were there was like the biggest dopamine boost I think I've ever received in my entire life. And so stuff like that. I mean, there is options, especially around the St. Louis area, around everywhere, that have different types of things that you can visit and do and be active again, like we said with the football and whatnot. And that's what we're saying, is that those types of things are going to boost your mood so much. They're going to take care of you. Just do it. Yeah.
Something I always forget about here in St. Louis. And again, like you just mentioned, like we're not down in the city a whole lot, other than like specific reasons, or we don't always choose the city to just like go like, hey, let's go hang out in the city. You know, that there's plenty of cool things. I'm sure there's plenty of things we don't know about too. But something I always forget about for us in St. Louis is Forest Park.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Like we were just down there this past weekend. My sister had her first prom, and they did pictures at Art Hill. And it's this giant. For those of you not in St. Louis, it's this massive hill with a big lake at the bottom. And at the top is the art museum here in St. Louis. And it's all in Forest Park. And Forest Park is the second biggest park in the country, only behind Central Park in New York, which is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. But there was tons of people, there was tons of high schoolers and whatnot, because there was like 4 proms going on that day. So tons of people taking pictures, but at the same time, tons of people walking with friends, tons of people running, tons of people doing the paddle boat things in the lake, like different forms of exercise. And as we left and we drove through the park, there's even a golf course down there too. I always forget that Forest Park is a golf course. But tons of just space, tons of cool trails, that I could see from the road. And I always forget about that. That's a
100%.
really cool thing that we have here in St. Louis that I always forget about. We have a lot of cool ones out here in the county too. Castlewood is one, and Bluffview. Like those are all cool places too. But I don't know. I always forget about Forest Park.
It could be as simple too. Like you mentioned, things you forget about. It could be as simple as in your area, guys, looking up, hey, top 10 things to do in my area.
Yeah.
With friends or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Again, it's we try to make this as simple as possible for you guys. And that's the goal, because you have to start simple to be able to build on top of mental health and fitness and that type of stuff.
Exactly.
So,
There's always options. There's so many cool restaurants, locally owned, cool breweries, especially again here in St. Louis. So there's always tons of options. I think that's a great idea. Like fun things to do with friends in Plug in Your City, and there's going to be tons of options that come up. So overall point, make it a priority in your life to spend time with those you love, So guys, running back through those 5 points just real quick. Daily outdoor activity, prioritizing the sunshine. That's a good one. Number 2 there.
Start with about 3 to 4 dedicated workout days. Again, we said like get outside and whatnot, but we mean actually like dedicated. You are doing something towards your health purposely this day.
Taking time out of my day to make sure this happens. 3 and 4, again, kind of go together. Choosing fresh food over processed foods. Even though it might take a little more time, cook your dinner that night instead of running through the drive-thru. Or meal prep. That's another option too. And getting enough protein. So 3 and 4, again, kind of go together there. And number 5 there, the one we just covered.
Again, remember, open up time in your schedule for those that you love. Those that you love, maybe it's just time for yourself as well. Going to like a yoga class, hot yoga class, going to a recovery place, that type of stuff. Again, getting outside, like we mentioned, looking up the top 10 things in your area. All simple things.
Guys, so that's kind of our 5 points there of our general health tips. There's plenty more that we can cover, but those were 5 good ones that we wanted to cover. Gabel, our next Q&A question. If you could drive one car for the rest of your life, from starting tomorrow to the day you die, one car, one vehicle, what non-military vehicle, I guess I'll say, because that'd probably be the most practical.
Warthog.
Yeah, right. If you could drive one vehicle for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One vehicle, you and I know I would usually say the Audi RS7 in this case, usually. But for practical purposes, oh man, what's it called? Oh, the car, it's called the Rezvani tank.
Oh god, you've showed me this.
So it's actually a civilian vehicle. It is built like a military vehicle. So it literally has bulletproof glass, like I think that thick for those of you on video. It's something serious. Yeah.
I think that's what the president's car is too, like an inch and a half thick, I believe.
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I would bet that's probably right.
I can't even remember what that's called, guys. If you can remember the name of the president's car,
oh shoot. Anyways,
it's not like the tank or something.
Something like that. Something along those lines. Yeah.
Whatever. Tell us, guys. If you can remember the name of the president's car, let us know.
Please. That's the Beast, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
The Beast. I think it is the Beast. Yep.
But this Rezvani tank literally is a $250,000 car that has, it's bulletproofed wheels. There's steel like reinforcing on the sides, I believe. I could be wrong. They're basically like military reinforcing on the side and whatnot. This thing, and it looks sexy too. Yeah, it looks like a nice SUV and whatnot.
Right.
And easily that because you said drive it every day for the rest of the time. That's why. I would have said Audi RS7, but because of the reason that I want to have that badass vehicle.
That's not the 6-wheel one, is it?
No, that one would be my second for sure. Like that's like a Mercedes 6x6. Those things those things are units.
Well, for me, I definitely was gonna say. So we both have like the same dream car, the RS7 from Audi, or an R8 for that matter. But the RS7s are just they're so clean. There's a few in our area.
Man, I'll be really mad if I decide to get an RS5. Like can you imagine? Can you imagine them not having an RS7 in stock? How dare they?
They'll make one for us, custom built.
I love acting like that. Oh my gosh! Like, are you kidding me? You don't have an RS7 in stock?
Anytime one drives by us, we both just like start drooling.
It's bad. Like I think our brain cells fly out the window. It's not good.
But I think I would have to go for similar reasons of the tank that you just mentioned. Would probably be like a G-Wagon. Because if you guys don't realize this, if you have a business and you buy a G-Wagon, you can write that off as a business expense because it's such a heavy vehicle.
Yeah, any vehicle over 6,000 pounds, I think is how it works. And then if you use it for 50% or more of your business uses, then you can write it off
as a business
almost
expense.
Not completely, I don't think, but like I think it was like if a G-Wagon is $200,000, it was like 170 out of the $200,000 you can write off for something ridiculous. Like
AKA, you get a G-Wagon for about $30,000.
Yeah,
is essentially what it would come out to. Yeah. But I think I would go with like a G-Wagon. I used to not like how they looked, but I do actually like how they look now. I see more and more of them, especially in Chesterfield and whatnot. So I'd probably go with a G-Wagon, a little Mercedes G-Wagon.
Nice.
Good little family car, but also if I need to bulk it up in case stuff goes wrong, I'm going to mount a gun on top and take the doors off, But, so that's... If we had to drive a car for the rest of our lives, there you go, guys. Now you know. Now you're better people.
But, yes, you are.
Guys, those are 5 really good points that we just covered. Reach out with any ideas or questions about any of those, and continue submitting those Q&As. We're having a lot of fun with them. Keep reaching out on the comments on our reels and on our content on Instagram, TikTok. Email us if you need anything. Everything is at Extrication Fitness. All of our Untapped stuff is on there as well. Untapped reels, untapped clips from the podcast, all that kind of stuff. Guys, we that's all we've got. We'll see you next time. Peace and love.